All right, everyone, we're live. Joined today by Oliver Loss, the Extreme Veganer. He's going to talk about some goings on in the German animal rights scene, on about the wider political scene in general that's going on in Germany, because there's some crazy stuff happening at the moment, folks. It's been a wild last few years, and the German animal rights scene is no different. It's got a lot of weird. There's some interesting happenings going on there. Shall we put it that way? And we've got Oliver on to discuss some of those things today to provide some insight into that. How are you doing today, Oliver? I noticed you. Were you rushing back from work to get ready for the for the stream today?
Yeah, not from work, from workout.
Oh, awesome. Well, exactly. You got to make those vegan gains. How often are you
Yeah,
hitting the gym these days, Oliver?
5 times a week right now.
5 times a week.
Hmm.
Damn, that's good. That's good. Well, anyway, let's get straight into this. So, there is a fairly well-known controversial figure in Germany, isn't there? And his name is Feroz Khan. What are the politics of Feroz Khan? And then we'll kind of get into this. What's happened recently? What is he known for? Why is he a controversial figure? Can you tell us about him?
Yeah. First of all, I didn't reply to the first things. Thanks for having me. I'm yeah, really looking forward for an open discussion for maybe yeah, evoke some thoughts in the viewers.
Yeah.
Yeah, Feroz is actually someone who is yeah first known in the Corona situation. He did
Mhm.
some viral videos with "Change My Mind." He just copied the thing from Steven Crowder, I think, who
Right.
started this.
Yeah.
And yeah, this went viral, and he had statements. You can guess which yeah political background he has if I know if I say the statements. Some of them were like all lives matter, change my
Mhm.
mind. There are only two genders, change my mind, and
Yeah.
I think it was Impfpflicht. What is the mandatory vaccination is totalitarian. Yeah, I
Right.
would say
Yeah.
these were his statements, and he defended them, and they were really open discussions. So you do not expect like
Yeah.
to really be someone at his position to be also very open about the thoughts and yeah opinions of the other people. He really wanted to discuss, and this is what I really appreciate of him, that he doesn't really only show, like, for example, the Daily Wire gang. For example, you did a
Mhm.
video about Michael Knowles.
Oh, yeah, that idiot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, he's an idiot because I mean, he is right in some points, and maybe some points he would defend also on the street, like doing these change my mind things. But
Yeah.
he doesn't see outside his box. He thinks he knows everything, and I think this is really the thing that differs between them. He's not only like yeah, being on the one political side, he
Right.
also questions himself. And the best proof of it was when he tried to make a debunk video of Rafaela, die
Yeah.
Militante Veganerin.
Yeah.
And yeah, he did the video. And within the production of the video, he realized he can't debunk veganism. So he was so straight up, then okay, if I can't debunk it, I have to change myself. And he went vegan on the
Wow.
spot. And it didn't even, you wanted to reply something, or I could continue?
Well, yeah, I kind of do. I mean, I just want to interject with what an incredible moment this is. So this is like Germany's Steven Crowder almost. And he's
Mhm.
doing these tables, change my mind about these, anti-woke political talking points. he's a well-known and despised figure in Germany. He's seen as, this far-right scumbag and stuff. He's basically seen as like Knowles and Crowder are in like the US, for example. And he does he does what is often typical of these people and tries to make a video debunking veganism. And you're saying, Oliver, on the spot, while he's making the video, he realizes that he can't debunk it and he changes his mind. And now Feroz Khan, this Stephen Crowder of Germany, has gone vegan. Now, what have the implications of that been? What's the conversation been around that?
I would say the first thing is that we just thought in the beginning no one had contact to him. We just saw the video, and we were like, okay, it's like good thing for him, but he probably won't use his like viewership to also teach them about his new like I had to prepare the English word. His new
Philosophy?
ideas, maybe.
Yeah.
New philosophy. And the thing is, I wrote him a message even before he posted the video, because I wrote several more right-leaning or right-wing people to discuss about veganism, because I thought, you're always arguing with logic and facts, but your feelings actually stand in the way of the facts, because your feelings like I'm the human, I want this, is blocking them. And I just wanted to have a discussion about it. And after he posted the video, he replied to me on this and said, I'm already vegan, but we can talk about it. And this is where he gave me his like reach, his audienceship. It was kind of like you had the conversation with someone also a little bit right-leaning. I think he has
Misha. There was Misha Petrov, and then there was David Nino Rodriguez as well. So I had two people with a big subscriber base who put out kind of anti-woke content and stuff, and they were very, very, very open to it.
Yeah, actually, this was the first reason why I texted the right-leaning people, because I thought if it's working for you, I saw the interview with Misha, and I thought, I could do it. I could be the carnism debunk in Germany. So I tried it, and he actually replied, and we did a live stream together.
Oh, amazing!
It was because there was this really left-wing guy who did some cancellation videos, some exposed videos about Rafaela, and I reacted to it and defended Feroz in like, what do you want? Where is your actual criticism? There is not. And then he reacted to me, and then I also came into this cancellation process. And this is where Feroz, I think, got my attention. And then we made a video together, and we talked about like the general thing, politics and veganism, and why it should be separated, why every right-wing person needed to be vegan. And actually, there were quite a lot of people who texted me. I got still one subscriber who is every time I'm posting a video, even though if it's 1.5 hours, he looks through the whole video and the comment. He went vegan after the discussion with Feroz. So I think what an amazing achievement it is to just touch the topic in a whole different bubble, in a whole different audienceship. And but you know what this actually probably would send a message to the left-leaning people. And you can imagine what happened to me and everything around me after this, right?
Yeah, and we can get into that in a moment. And what about Feroz's own sort of like fanboys on the right? The people who love his content, the people who are probably saying stuff like vegans are a bunch of woke pussies and stuff like that. How did they react when this figure, Feroz Khan, went vegan?
Yeah, actually, saw his videos and saw his comments.
Yeah.
Even visited some live streams of him and saw what they are writing, and always responding the vegan thing, the vegan answers to them. But actually, you can imagine not everybody was really happy about it. They now said he is the brainwashed. They now said, what happened
Right.
to you? I thought I knew you. And without even just hearing what he says, they were
Yeah.
just reacting out of just the feeling. And
How dare you take the red pill, Feroz? How dare
yeah.
you?
Yeah, and it was even, he's not only simping for Rafaela, which was also really funny. But yeah.
Is he religious, Feroz Khan? Because usually people on the right, these kind of right wing pundits, usually they come from. I assume from his surname, he actually would have grown up in a Muslim background, but I don't know if he's. Yeah, tell us about that.
So this is even funnier because I want to say a short thing about this. I think he was born in Germany, in Frankfurt, in West Germany, and his parents come from Pakistan, I think.
Yeah.
And of course, he's not the typical white right-leaning Christian guy. He's actually an ex-Muslim.
Yeah.
Because he also criticizes the Islam publicly. And I think this is a weird thing because the woke people are also defending Islam, which I don't really understand until now.
Well, this is the same with Ayaan Hirsi Ali, right? An ex-Muslim, dark-skinned woman. And she criticizes the very ideology she was raised in. And she's now apparently a white supremacist because she criticizes something that's A, nothing to do with race. It's an ideology. It's a political philosophy, Islam. It's a doctrine. And B, she's not even white anyway. So it's like, well, how can she be a white supremacist? Yeah, it's crazy.
And that was the funny thing. He actually, after we talked and after he had contact with Rafaela, they also made a video together, which was also like the another cancellation reason. But it was really constructive and nice conversation, because he said arguments against veganism, which he thinks were still not like the lions topic. So his viewers would understand that even smarter arguments can be debunked. And I think this was really great to reach people to become vegans. But it was, for the other ones, it was like, oh, they said the word Nazi or Holocaust, so they are Nazis and don't care about the Holocaust and this stuff. You know it. But he actually, Rafaela actually motivated him to do activism for the animals. And he said and realized, okay, I've touched so many topics and I see so many double standards in politics everywhere. But in this case, I think this is the most important and most urgent topic I ever touched.
Bro's got it. He's got it, man. That's great to hear.
And this is then we had contact. I said to him, some right-wing guys, maybe you can, like, I couldn't generate the contact, so maybe you can. And he started to talk to some people. I even got a new contact I did a stream with. And after all, he also participated in AV in Hamburg, and he was on the picture. And that was the third big wave of left-leaning people who just complained about everything. And why can you just let right-wing people at your cubes? And then AV organizers quitted, and it was like a really really crazy thing.
Wow. So there's more. So there's been more fallout in Germany in the
Yeah,
animal rights scene just because Feroz Khan exercised his right, exercised the animals' right to speak up for the animals and attend an AV
yeah.
event. So how has AV been dealing with the criticism about that?
Yeah, actually, he knew about his character in general, and he knew that he's very controversial. So he actually contacted me before and asked me, yeah, can I participate in AV? Maybe even participate as organizer. And I asked our regional organizer, and the regional organizer even asked the Paul and Asal about this topic, and they said, okay, you know our standpoint to this, and that is really where I appreciate AV as an organization. They say we will never take a position in the culture war. We will never take a position in politics or whatever. It's about the animals, and if he accepts our rules, which is also the value statement where you don't like discriminate against anyone and all this stuff and respect anyone, um, then he can participate. And he did. And on the spot where he did the cube, no one complained. It was just afterwards that when they saw him on the picture and some people complained, that it was a big thing. But after all, it's so stupid because the people on the spot didn't really had a problem with him.
I don't get what these people want. There's one additional person on the spot at an event, not causing any problems at all. Everyone's getting on fine. He's adhered to the anti-discrimination policy of AV. He's just there chilling with everyone, speaking up for the animals, turning members of the public vegan. And he appears in the photo and they say, this is bad. Like, what do they want Feroz Khan doing? Do they want him just talking about the right-wing stuff? They just want him to focus on that now. They just want him doing his table debate saying, change my mind about, I don't know, immigration or something like that, or gender ideology. And they don't want him at all advocating for the animals. Like, how... I don't get how small these people want the movement to be. I don't get why these people... You don't have to like Feroz Khan. You don't have to agree with everything he says. But I don't get if you're truly on the side of the animals. Like, do you think a chicken gives a shit about what Feroz Khan's political views are? You know?
Yeah, I mean, it has to work out. I know where the people are coming from. They want like everybody to be accepted and everybody to work together. But they, if you ask them and really start, for example, an HR process, you have to provide evidence. But what evidence could you provide? He has like so many videos, and you can skip through all the videos, and he always makes statements where he says, yeah, I respect you, I respect your view, I respect your like if you feel as something or someone or whatever, you can do this, but I'm really against the effects of what is happening to society. And I think everybody needs to have the right to criticize something like that. And it doesn't matter if you agree on every topic, but yeah, I also don't get it. Actually, one thing I wanted to add is it was also a comment where he did the All Lives Matter thing, which written, if you really are for all lives matter, you have to include the animals. And he said this was 2 years ago when he got the comment, and he was just like, yeah, okay, no, whatever. But he said afterwards to me, this comment didn't let him go. He just always thought about this comment, and when he turned vegan, he remembered it and said, yeah, okay, it actually, yeah, if you say all lives matter, it doesn't make sense to just exclude the animals, right?
That's crazy that one comment years ago before he went vegan and was just saying all lives matter, that stuck with him. And it shows that our advocacy is worth time on people with a myriad of different political beliefs.
Yeah.
There's an annoyingly large contingent of vegans who just want to stay in echo chambers in left wing spaces and just advocate to those people. But now one of Germany's like influential right wing figures has gone vegan, and that's a great thing. That's going to be sowing discord among his supporters as well. That's going to be putting ideas in their heads. Well, hang on, if I'm saying all lives matter while I'm eating a hamburger, am I a hypocrite now? And yeah, okay, for a lot of them, they're just brainwashed fools and it won't work on them. They're speciesists, they're human supremacists, right? But there will be more people like Feroz who think, damn, you got me. I'm wondering, does Feroz speak good English?
I'm not sure, actually.
Yeah, because I could. I'm thinking maybe I should tag him in this vid to see if he notices and watches it.
I will inform him.
Yes, please do, please do. And his conversation with Rafaela, then, what has that resulted in for Rafaela? Now, for anyone unaware, by the way, in the comments of Rafaela, so Rafaela is she's known on social media as Die Militante Veganerin, which means the militant vegan, and she is the most famous activist in the German-speaking world. Like she's like a celebrity, right, in Germany and Austria now, right, Oliver? Like she walks down the street and she told me she has to put a disguise on to go to the shops now.
Yes.
So that's how huge she is there. I don't think we have anyone actually comparable in like the UK who we have well-known activists here, right, from here, but I don't think we have someone on the level of her fame who it's where they've got to put on a disguise to go down the shop. Now, what have the consequences been for Rafaela Die Militante Veganerin over her discussions with this guy Feroz Khan?
Yeah, they not only talked about veganism. I mean, of course, he also wanted to say some things where they would agree on several topics, and it was, for example, comparing it to the Holocaust, which we will discuss later, right? And where they really wanted to like exclude the like the rights, the basic rights from any political belief. And the backlash was, I'm not sure what to say, because it wasn't really like they put much effort into debunking any of their points. They just picked up some points of the conversation and just said, yeah, okay, they talked about this. They had contact with them, like guilt by association fallacy, and only this was the thing where people said it is controversial. And we have, sadly, quite some left-leaning vegan influencers, and they were just reproducing it. They just said, oh, this one guy did a video about her and said she's right-wing and she's transphobic. So I just repeated, I just watched the video or react to it and just like restoring the content, and so everybody will believe it. And the real criticism behind it, I'm not really sure what it is then, because they for example put out links. I always asked also the AV organizers who quit AV, because it didn't really have a connection to them. They weren't even in the city where he was participating, but they still quit. And I was asking them, why did you quit? What is the problem? And they said, this person is problematic. I said, why? And they said, yeah, you know why. And I said, no, please say one single line from one video where it's not where it's like controversial, or where you can say that he's discriminating against other people. And they didn't come up with anything. And it's just like the how they function, how this cancel culture is functioning. I experienced it at myself. People have a lot of like information, but not real content of information. I'm not sure if I can explain it correctly. Maybe you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. It just kind of it flies around like word of mouth, like this person is this person is a racist, or this person is a sexist. And what happens is, because that gets repeated so many times, they just instantly believe it without checking the facts for themselves. Now, again, I don't know anything really about this Feroz Khan, other than that he's an influential, like, anti-woke or right-wing figure in Germany who's just gone vegan, right? So I don't know exactly what his views are on every subject. But here's the problem. I don't think these people cancelling him know his views on every subject either.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of like we saw with the Trump derangement syndrome while Trump was in office. Again, I'm not here to defend Trump or say he's like this perfect figure. But a lot of people just thought Trump is racist because other people said he's racist, or the media said he's racist. But then you say to him, you know, maybe he is racist. I don't know. But you say to someone, one of the people who say Trump is racist, if you support him, you're racist. You say, oh, okay, could you just let me know about one of the racist things that he said? And they can't come up with like anything that he said, other than just the kind of stuff. He wants to build a wall on the border or something like that, which the Democrats, or you know, they technically support anyway, because the whole stuff is still happening and has always happened under the Democrats. You can talk about to them the long list of genuinely racist stuff that Joe Biden has said. And I feel this is probably just kind of the thing that's happened to Feroz here. They don't know much about him. They don't know much about his views. But because in German media, he's painted as the bad guy, media is very powerful at getting you to believe something about someone, what they want you to believe, for whatever those self-serving reasons are. And it would seem just bizarre. I mean, the people who chose to step down from AV because Feroz Khan turned up, they would not apply this with any human rights issue. They would not say, I refuse to go to a Black Lives Matter protest because a speciesist turned up. Oh, sorry, that's 99.9% of them. I will not go to, a women's rights march because a speciesist turned up, or a transphobe turned up, or something like that. They only apply this. They only ever apply this when it's the animals. Animals get the bum deal. They are tossed in the trash by these people in any situation where you pit some kind of human problem against an animal problem. They will always pick the human. And this is animal rights activists. Like, how much of a problem are you seeing there with that kind of stuff?
Yeah, like you said, they are complaining about all lives matter because what is all lives matter in from their perspective? Yeah, it's like you have a movement for the black people, and you just say no, it's not only about the black people, it's also about everyone else. And this is wrong because we, in this case, want to care about the problems of black people. Yeah, but in the animal rights, we want to care about the animals. And what are they doing? The exact thing they are criticizing. We also are animals. Humans are also animals. We have to also care about ourselves. We are also victims of oppression and whatever. And no, my t-shirt is saying not being vegan is not okay.
Okay. There you are. That answers the question. Sorry, Oliver. Carry on what you were saying.
Yeah, and I think for this case it's a bad decision to.
Yeah, wrong t-shirt to wear when you've got the camera up on the. Yeah,
I just do it like this, then it's okay.
People will know. You've got the 269 on your hat anyway. We know the deal.
My chest is pumped, so
there you go.
What was I saying? Yeah, they are applying the all lives matter thing onto the animal rights movement. And I really think it's really pathetic because they are comparing themselves. They always complain about the Holocaust comparison or whatever, because it's like putting down the victims of the Holocaust. But what they are actually doing is like comparing, called a different pronoun, to being slaughtered in whatever conditions. And
Yes, they
if you
did.
really, yeah,
They did this with Trump as well. So you'll see a lot of like woke vegans and woke anti-vegans. They said, how dare you compare what happens to animals to the Holocaust? And then they compare Trump's presidency
yeah,
to the Holocaust. I mean, holy shit, which is more similar? Which has killed more? But sorry, carry on with that point.
yeah. Mainly this thing for actually. Um, what I wanted to say about the media you just mentioned. Actually, you're as a German, you are forced to pay some of your money. It's like 18 euros a month to like the media association, whatever, which
Wow.
is considered the free media, the independent media. But after all, it's actually the left wing media, and you are forced to pay it. And
Oh my
and this is
god.
crazy because they are actually like enforcing opinions. They are actually just saying, okay,
Mm,
this party is bad and this one is good. I mean, I think in America, for example, you have also like CNN more left
yeah.
leaning and Fox more right leaning. But
Yeah.
after all, are not forced to pay the one side, and this is getting us where it's not even, it's not even, where one party is like the bad guys.
Right.
I mean, they have a lot of controversial opinions, and you can discuss if it really makes sense what they are saying at some point.
Yeah.
But Feroz Khan sees them as like the only party that is like has the courage to say something against the mainstream, say something against the media, say something against
Mm,
yeah, all the crazy ideas that come up from left wingers. And from this standpoint, I get why he's communicating it, but he is openly voting for them, and this is why he gets into the right wing like bubble, because or why he's sorted into it, because he's voting for the party, and the media tells everyone the party is bad, they are the bad guys. Like someone said here, the orange man bad
yeah.
media portray.
Okay. And talk to me now about what's going on in politics in
Yeah.
Germany. Because we could tie this into veganism as well, but I've heard there's some crazy goings on right now in Germany with regards to certain parties gaining support and whatnot. So tell us about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's um like the our current leadership in the country. I'm not sure about the term which you use, but it's a combination of three parties,
All
which
right.
which actually doesn't really make sense, because the one party is like a fake liberal. Um,
Right.
ri-
We had this in the UK a few years ago. We had
yeah.
what was called a hung parliament, where
Mm.
two parties ended up forming a coalition government. So you
Yeah,
currently have like a coalition, like a trialition government, or sort of
yeah.
going on
It's
in Germany. Okay.
it's called the traffic light part because the colors of the parties are the three
Red,
traffic
yellow,
light
and
colors.
green, or
Yeah.
red, amber, and green. Okay.
Yeah, and there are two like more left-leaning parties, and it's a complete mess. To make it
Yeah.
short, we also have like our own version of Joe Biden in our country. Yeah, he also was like into some big financial like scam or whatever. And when he was asked about it in the court, he just says, I can't remember that.
Well, yeah. Well, if
and
he's
and
anything like Joe Biden, he can't remember his own name. So yeah.
and he's the chancellor, right? And
Is
I
Merkel
mean,
still in power in Germany or
no,
no? No,
no.
she's gone. Okay.
And yeah, he's now the one, because it was just only because two parties are fighting for the voices, because they wanted to be the next chancellor, and this third one was just like saying nothing about anything, and then they got the votes, and he was elected the chancellor, and he was just like, oh yeah, okay, now I have to do it, and he's like the complete worst. But what I wanted to say is that the criticism also in the country is rising, because they are realizing it's a complete mess what they are doing. They openly say, we don't care about Germans. The politicians, they can't even say a German sentence straight. The funniest thing is our minister for relations, external country relations. So she has to know how to speak English. Recently said, this is a beacon of hope.
Right.
So, yeah, she wanted to say beacon, but she's always doing it, and she can't even speak German. But I mean, the criticism is rising, and that's why the other party is also rising, because they are actually saying, yeah, we care about the people. This is why they are rising. They even get some like smaller votes. They won, for example, some on some closer, some smaller voting sections in the country. And this is also getting like so much attention. They're saying, yeah, we get the next Nazi Germany, whatever.
This is Germany. This is Germany's hard right party are gaining notoriety. Then is what's happening, and people are thinking that something.
The more right wing party, but actually, if you read what they want, they are actually more of liberal. Of course, they have the basics, the basic right wing capitalist standpoint. So if you have much, you will gain more. And this is like the problem I see with the right wing side. But I think they are gaining so much attention because they are against this woke bullshit, and currently it's like on the rise. And I see this will stop somewhere. And you talked about it with David, that go woke, go broke, and I think maybe it's also starting in Germany right now, because more and more the people are tired of all this, like, we don't care about our own citizens stuff.
Right.
And what I wanted to say was, they're getting the attention, and they are more of a liberal it's difficult to say, because liberal is left wing for in USA, but I mean real liberal values. So give the power back to the people. And they say the criticism says they want to be authoritarianism. They want to build up an authoritarian regime. But the funniest thing about it is, if they win a democratic vote, everybody wants to get rid of democracy. Sorry, because if the people are too stupid to vote for the right thing, then we have to get rid of it, right? This is how it works, right?
And and what's the name of this party? What are they called?
AfD.
The AfD party. And now all I've heard about them is just really, really negative stuff. Like, they're this super far right party, and it's like the stirrings of fascism in Germany again and stuff like that. But are you saying this could just be like an over sensationalization of what's happening, or do you think they are further right than previous parties that have had notoriety in recent times in Germany?
I mean, you have to understand the German system, because it's mainly not like the two parties, one more left and one more right. It's more than like a mix. There are 6 parties actually, which are gaining over 5%, which are gaining into the Bundestag, which is the main. You can explain parliament, you would say probably, and these 6 parties are like two intermediates who like left leaning, right leaning, and then one right wing and one left wing. And the interesting thing is that everything shifted towards one side, towards the left wing side, because in media, I mean, from the topics, it's quite the same. It's also like you can compare it to like Republican and Democrats, but from the standpoint of the society and from the societal conversation about all these topics like gender and transphobic and whatever, you know what topics I mean.
Yeah,
it's more a shift in Germany to the left side, and this is why they are considered so far right. And the thing is, they have a lot of people saying controversial things to get into the conversation, but they also have a lot of idiots who are also saying very controversial things, where you think, yeah, okay, maybe they are really Nazis, but they also excluding the people from the party. But I would say I'm not really sure what to vote at all in Germany.
yeah.
But I think it's a good thing that at least someone is saying, yeah, maybe we think about it and not doing it like everybody else, like the media wants us to do, like in Corona,
So,
for example. Yeah.
would you say in Germany there's starting to be a big pushback against sort of like woke politics, like me and David discussed in our recent video about the culture war? Do you think then that it's kind of like a thing that people are really getting fed up now, and there's going to be this big pushback coming in Germany, or do you see it slightly differently?
I think it's in the starting process, because the thing in the animal rights, where in the last 2 years no one ever someone
Translating.
translated it. In the animal rights movement, it was like not a topic. We talked about it last year, I think, where we said, yeah, where are the intersectionals? They were getting so so quiet. And for you, it's still not a problem. But in our case, in Germany, they had a rise again.
Right.
And this was, I think, mainly because they were criticizing Rafaela because she was because they said she was transphobic or whatever. And it just shows that it's really like getting to a boiling point here, I have a feeling. And I had actually an interesting thought, because in Italy, what was the comment?
It was just a comment saying that they love how you're decked out in a full vegan gear. You've got the 269 cap on and the t-shirt on.
and the fork.
Oh, and the Liberation Pledge fork as well. Damn.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
That's what I wanted to say.
We're talking about how intersectionals are still prominent in Germany and still cancelling people and stuff like that. Whereas me and Rams have kind of noticed, like in the UK, or the backlash is just minimal now. Like I'm facing no backlash for my views. It's crazy.
Yeah, and I also thought something like this, because when I saw the video you did with Flores, which was about are there two genders, non-binary or whatever. If I would make the same video just asking questions about it, I would get canceled again with some of the videos from this one guy. And apparently they all think if you stand in front of a screen and talk about how bad people are, how what bad stuff people are writing in some private chats or whatever, they gain like the approval of so many people. And I think it's really crazy, because within our own chapter there was never a problem. but the people said, we want to make sure no one thinks we are the bad guys. We want to show everyone, we have to post to everyone that we are not racist or whatever because we talk to him. And they are so you talked about the cult-like behavior, and it's really that thing. They really have to the feeling to show someone else that doesn't exist how strictly they are against discrimination. And they don't realize that no one cares about their positioning in this topic. If you know someone and you care about someone and you interact with someone, you just don't talk about, yeah, what's your opinion about Ukraine or whatever. You just see the person standing in front of you. You just think, okay, I'm respecting you because you are fighting for animal rights with me. Why should I care now about this discussion? Why should I search for the differences if I just can, agree on the similarities between us? And I think this is the main problem. But people are really, they're really getting high on this white knighting. They really want to show everyone how good they are. They want to virtue signal to show everyone, to change your profile picture to blue and yellow and to black or whatever. But wait a second. But after all, they don't really realize what they are actually doing to the animal rights. They're always saying, I'm doing the harm because I'm talking to other people. You see the things the people I reach, the new people I reach, which would never talked about this topic, which would never see a video about this topic if not their right-wing YouTuber wouldn't do it. So they are completely closing their eyes and think we have to protect ourselves from this bad behavior. We have to protect democracy. We have to protect ourselves from discrimination. And they, also don't see outside the box then.
Why do you think the German intersectionals haven't come for me lately? I had that one guy. I had one guy come for me, but it just fizzled out. But I'm just confused about, because it's still hotting up still in Germany, as you said. It's just died down seemingly in the UK, in the States, maybe in like Canada and stuff. I don't know. Like again, like I did that stream a while back with Pat, David Ramsey, and Nick, talking about like where the hell have they gone? It's so quiet. How is it that I'm saying whatever I want now without getting cancelled? Like unlike the previous years. Why do you think it is, Oliver, that like the German intersectionals are so focused on like seemingly you and Rafaela and stuff? How come I'm not getting any backlash, or David Rams or whoever else says opinions that are triggering them?
I mean, I think maybe someone twittered something about you, but Twitter is also something no one really cares about these days.
Well, they've all left Twitter because of Elon, right? So I think a lot of them are leaving now.
Yeah, but I heard the alternative also now is not really used. I think maybe it's because of what we've discussed earlier. What I tried to explain, that it's just really, there is the one opinion and the other one is, then you are an AfD Wähler, no? Then you're on the bad side, and there are only these two sides, and they don't realize that how big the side must be, and they just making everyone a Nazi, a fascist. They are calling them a fascist. They use the words like they wouldn't mean anything, and I think it's probably because mainly the trans topic really got into Germany the last year. Maybe it's because of this that really so many people are so sensitive right now, but I'm not really sure 100%. It can be a mix of everything. But one interesting thought I had, in Italy, they also had this big intersectional split with AV.
Yes.
it was like they had 70 chapters and then reduced to a half. And
I remember the start of this because I was working for AV at the time, and it must have been about 2019,
yeah.
maybe. And it was basically due to a mistranslation in their values statement, where there was basically a second version of AV running in Italy,
Mm.
all because AV's value statement said something like, "We do not discriminate against anyone based on, gender, sex,
Mm.
sexuality, blah blah blah." But the Italians translated that to their chapters as, "We are an intersectional organization and
Yeah.
are thus pro human rights and believe that and this made intersectionals all flock to however many chapters there were in Italy."
Mm.
And then one day we had to be like, guys, that's not what we said. We're not intersectional. We don't see veganism as like this left wing human rights thing. We're not taking a stance on that. We're just about the animals. We just simply said we don't discriminate against volunteers. They're not
Mm.
the same thing. But carry on with what you were saying about that.
Yeah, yeah. I also heard this, but it was a big split after all because of this intersectional topic.
Yeah.
But it actually they regained all the influence in Italy. They built up like big chapters. They made 100 people national cubes every few months, and they really gained back the name of AV in Italy.
Yeah.
And I have a theory about it, because in Italy there's also like, I mean, in every Western country there's this woke thing, but in
Mm-hmm.
Italy actually right wing um, right wing party was elected, and
Yeah.
I think she also became chancellor or president or whatever. And she was really controversial. She also openly criticizes the LGBTQ agenda and all this stuff. And I thought maybe when the people first realized that those right wing people wouldn't destroy the whole country and bring back like the dictatorship or whatever they are expecting, they
Mm-hmm.
become more chill about it. And I think when people are now realizing that a lot of people are voting for, every fifth person is voting for this like evil red right wing party in Germany right now, maybe if they would realize that they are not like the people who want to destroy everything and kill every minority or whatever they are thinking in their heads,
Mm-hmm.
they are realizing, okay, maybe we shouldn't focus so much, or maybe it is, you are not able to cancel anyone with it anymore.
Yeah.
And it's just a theory I have with AV Italy, because it grew back. And I have a feeling now Germany is like standing next in the line where people are maybe getting a little bit more awakened, more woke, not the right word.
In the real way. That's
Right way.
interesting.
They leave the walk behind. I'm not sure about this theory, but I would really appreciate if people became more like open about bringing back the like this discourse, bringing back the discussion
Oh, Oliver, we can't have free speech and discussion. That
yeah.
would be fascism now, wouldn't it? But no, that is very interesting what you say there. It's like the thing happened that they didn't want to happen, right? The hard right party came in Italy, and then they thought then they maybe perceived it wrongly, and it wasn't as bad as they first thought or something, and they were like, well, okay, I guess I can like make conversation now with people who have different political views from me. I haven't been sent to a gas chamber or something, like the hysteria was going on about Trump. I wouldn't be surprised at all if there were people saying that Trump literally wanted to Holocaust people. Such was the insane hysteria about him. I mean, that could be one other. I mean, that's an interesting theory there, Oliver, because I have been wondering why there has been this kind of radio silence, and it could just be that could be one of the reasons. Like it happened, this thing that everyone was scared, peddling hysteria about. It happened. He went in office, and then they just realized it was literally no different to when Barack
Yeah,
Obama run the country. It was
yeah.
just the same.
And
Nothing happened.
this is like the thing, because in other countries they are also like conservative like parties, and if they gain power, like in America, for example, um, it's like not that the people are not that focused on this thing anymore, but yeah, I mean it's the theory, but I'm really happy that I think IV, I'm not sure. I think We the Free also states that they are not about they only about the animals, but AV, especially in Germany, I think is really straight about it. That we just say, I think Paul even said it a few weeks ago. We are not going into this discussion anymore. We
Yeah.
always try to like smooth people back and say them, yeah, okay, everything is fine. We can discuss about it. We can we can find a solution together. Maybe he didn't mean the thing he said, and suddenly there's a conversation about what some person did say 2 years ago with some other one, and it's like so crazy that we just say from now on, we don't care about this discussion. If you are respectful to the others, then you can participate. And I think this should be the goal for every animal rights organization. And in Germany, every other animal rights organization right now is like bowing down to the woke agenda. Sadly.
Yeah, it's a shame that has happened, but I think that's I'm glad to hear that AV has said that anyway. Let's talk about some cancellations and stuff that are going on elsewhere in Germany. So, the Rammstein singer, this has been significant in Germany, right? They've been touring recently. They were over in the UK in Cardiff. I remember, like last year, huge. That was drawing huge attendance. I remember the city loads of people were going through the city in their Rammstein gear and stuff like that. So tell us about the Rammstein singer. What's happened with him, and we can talk about how this relates to veganism as well in a second.
Um, yeah, it was just like that one person on Instagram, I think. It's pronounced Rammstein.
Yeah.
And he's got allegations to have sexually abused her. She said something about I'm not sure about the English word, but some drops into the drink.
Oh my god! So like a date rape drug kind of thing.
Yeah, but she pulled this back when she was asked, and she said, "No, I didn't really say this happened, because after all, she said she drank a lot of alcohol, and on the next day she woke up and had bruises on her arm."
And
And
has this kind of ignited like a Me Too thing again in
yeah,
Germany?
yeah, and
Because
I don't want to discuss who's right and who's not right, but
right.
it just showed again that all these also all these vegan influencers, the left leaning, they also feed into this like you can predict it in every way possible.
Right.
Solidarity with the victims, which maybe are not victims, we don't know. Then the singer complained about it at Kurt about them, and said you have to take that back.
That's a
Other
very, very heavy allegation as
and
well.
yeah,
To
yeah,
say
and
that he's slipped something into a girl's drink and
yeah,
everything, like it's yeah.
and I mean, you can expect that a singer is maybe groupies. That is a thing. I mean, I don't really care about Rammstein. I never followed them, so I don't want to talk too much about who is right or not. But alone, just the way it is handled, just the way everybody steps on the vehicle of just canceling someone because they might have done something bad. And what I wanted to say is that that he complained at Kurt, and he had some lawyers, and they did an internet campaign where they collected money for the victims,
Right.
to to pay their lawyers so they have a chance. But there were crazy things where I saw a video where someone just said, "I'm collecting the money to pay all the lawyers," but he didn't. He did it for himself. Then he said he would collect it and to bring it to them. But after
Yeah.
all, if they need the money, they can do it themselves and collect money themselves. So I'm
Yeah.
not sure who's scammed with this, but it's still crazy how everybody not thinking straight. How it's the same with Black Lives Matter. One person says it, and then everybody's donating it. Even Safe Movement donated to Black Lives Matter, which is
Oh my
still the
God.
craziest thing this organization has done.
So this could be a new case that, assuming this person is innocent, could also be robbing essentially money from the animal rights movement in Germany, because all the intersectionals are donating to this and telling other vegans to donate to this. Essentially, it's basically
Yeah,
BLM.
not really that much. I mean, it's a little bit smaller thing.
Yeah, yeah,
But I saw stories and statements where they explained about victim blaming and all this stuff. And
yeah,
it's just the war in the internet, and this topic doesn't belong in the internet, because
yeah.
people are just fighting about it.
Well,
And
they've
you can't really know who's right in the right in here. The one side says, what victim would do this just for publicity? And the other side says, yeah, she's got the publicity, and if it wasn't right, then she still got the publicity and can generate Instagram followers, and you can build a business on this basis today. So I'm not sure. So, but it's still like how crazy it is in Germany right now, how people are showing solidarity, although they are not really thinking about what is happening there.
They know nothing about the case. Yeah, they obviously just don't like Rammstein's music, so that was maybe
Yeah.
that's the. But it's weird because there have been we can't name names and go into specifics cases for obvious reason. I mean, one obviously you and I weren't there, and we don't know what's happened in these accusations, but there have been various accusations of a similar nature in the animal rights movement over the past few years, and it's just been really tragic to see so many so much infighting and potentially innocent people just torn to shreds over just mere allegations without literally any evidence. But I tell you, one Oliver, of the most is this poetic justice? I don't really know, but I've always theorized, right, about these people, especially the guys who are the biggest white knights for these things, who just jump on it and say, hashtag believe the victims. There's no chance that the accused could be innocent. He's just guilty without proof. He's guilty until proven innocent. My theory about these guys is, Oliver, they've often got a lot of skeletons in the closet themselves. I think they, especially in the vegan movement, there's a lot of creepy dudes who are in the vegan movement. And it's not the ones, it might not be the ones who are being accused. It might often actually be the guys doing the accusing, jumping on it. And this happened recently in the UK, maybe 2 years ago. I'm not going to say his name, but there was a guy who I think I even remember saying to him, like, the fact that you jump on every single thing like this, it just makes me wonder about you, because I have a theory about this kind of thing. And guess what, Oliver? A few months down the line, after he had jumped on every single witch hunt there was against whoever it was in the vegan movement, being called out in AR MeToo or whatever it was, a few months down the line, Oliver, this very guy got a slew of allegations made against him by women. Serious ones. One even involving an underage girl in the movement. And he's just fucking disappeared since. I literally haven't seen his name online. He's just gone like a flash. It was very interesting how that happened. And another thing, I could get cancelled for this observation, but hey, what's new? One thing I noticed is the prominence of such allegations in the animal rights movement. They seem to have very, very, very much dissipated, eased since the toning down of cancel culture in general in the animal rights movement. It's like at the height of cancel culture in the AR movement, 2018, 2019, 2020, seem to correlate with allegations made in the animal rights movement. And since cancel culture has generally just dissipated since then, I've noticed that allegations of these nature have also just dissipated. They seem to have gone, which calls into question the validity of some of these claims. Could it just be that at a time when people were hysterical and looking for ways to victimize and cancel people and start witch hunts against people, lo and behold, you get allegations of this nature at that time. And now at this time, when things have calmed down, although not in Germany, as you say, with the Ramstein stuff, do you see some kind of correlation there, or am I? I don't know.
I'm not really sure about it. I think it's more the other way around, that this like Me Too thing is like another starter for the for the cancellation process. If the Me Too thing just starts it off, then they collect all the other evidence which can also be used to like discredit someone. But what you said in the beginning, that these guys, the white knights, are often very problematic. Funny enough, I dated someone last year, also in the animal rights movement, and this guy texted her, and he knew that we were dating. He texted her and really made like, nah, yeah, it was just like he was very pushy, and he really wanted to, yeah, see her in some ways. And this guy is now the main, yeah, leader who's posting any of my stories, even though I blocked him and everything, and he just wants to cancel AV, cancel my person. And it's very interesting because yeah, he when you know a little bit more about the guy and what he texted to a woman and how he.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I'm not seeing a correlation here, but I think if it's in the process, and if they have these allegations, it starts the whole process, and the feeling of the movement in whatever country it is gets
Yeah.
more like, we need to separate from others, and this is like the same mentality. And
Well,
even in Germany, I think in the USA, something happened about an organization, about something with against fur. Something happened there in the USA. There were also really made claims. Even Rob Banks tried to clear up something about this, but in Europe they split up from them, because in USA maybe something happened or not, and that was also really weird. And I think maybe that's because in the USA they not split up from someone because they are like not so vogue as they are in Germany, for example, right now.
yeah. Well, I'll tell you why I don't think you notice the correlation that I do is because I think stuff is still going on in Germany. The cancel culture is still there. The Me Too stuff
Okay.
is still there. Whereas all I'm noticing here, Oliver, is just stuff has died down, and the allegations of this nature in the vegan movement just seem to have died down with it, which calls into question the validity of some of this stuff. And just it's a stark reminder that people need to not hop on bandwagons. We've seen before what happens in the animal rights movement when people just hop on bandwagons without thinking. And it's never the consequences can be pretty bad. Now we're coming towards the end of the stream now, Oliver, so I just wanted to squeeze in a few more bits and bobs here and there. But talk to us about some more stuff that's controversial, obviously, in Germany in the animal rights scene, coming from inside and outside our own movement. You made a vid recently, didn't you, talking about like the Holocaust and comparisons with animal agriculture. So talk to us about that vid, like any backlash you've received and sort of like the context of that. from a German perspective?
It was actually because in the first Rafaela on live television dropped "We need to stop the animal Holocaust,"
Right.
and this is a very bold statement, and I really respect that she said it live on
Yeah.
television.
Wow.
But I was also thinking about the did it make sense in this discussion to drop the word, or would it be smarter to not use something else? Of course, I can't provide evidence for something else because this has the effect of I'm getting into that later. My video is basically about what is a comparison. So a comparison doesn't take away something from someone. A comparison can't be discriminating. It doesn't make sense
You're
because
right.
in a comparison you can see the similarities and the differences.
Yeah.
And right now when people are dropping it, you can't compare this in discussions and in outreach. I ask him, okay, you are small, I am big. Yes, I just compared you with me, and we saw that we have like a difference. Okay, now
Yeah.
now we are both humans. Okay, yes. So I compared you and me, and we have a common thing.
Yeah.
And I just said you can do it with everything and everyone. You can compare it. You maybe find more differences and more similarities. It doesn't really matter, but comparing is not the evil thing to do. What everybody here is complaining about, you can't use the Holocaust comparison because the Jews were suffering. It's a different thing. It's a different motivation to do it, and you can respect that, and you can say, yeah, of course, there's a difference between the animal Holocaust and the Holocaust happening in Nazi Germany. But I think it's really good. I also quoted some of your portions with of the podcast with Alex
Yes,
Hershaft,
Alex Hershaft. Yeah.
where he just said, yeah, comparisons are an important tool to remind ourselves of the wrongdoings of the past. If we wouldn't compare anything to the past, then we wouldn't really learn, and that's the whole
That's a great point. Yeah.
the whole point of it. And I think that this what he said was really powerful. And then they quoted him in some shady way that he said, yeah, I'm also not comparing it, blah blah blah. But the point is, we are not talking about if you can compare victims or not. We're talking about the how much sense does it make to use the word. And people are getting emotional with the word. People are especially in Germany overreacting to it. You can't really talk about it with the people. If you just say the word, it makes click and they're not hearing anything.
Right.
And that was what I saw in the discussion of Rafaela in the interview in the TV.
Yeah.
That they only talked about, can she compare it to the Holocaust or not? They didn't really talk about the topic, what is animal rights, what they have a feeling. She really tried, and I think she did a good job. But it's just like they don't really want to talk about it. They just want to talk about the one thing they can criticize in front of the audience. The audience doesn't really think deeply about it. So maybe just what is it called? Derailing the whole argument and just talk about the usage of the word. And that was what I wanted to say in my video. It can be compared to the Holocaust. It has a lot of similarities. Even if you just look at the way they use the people or the animals as objects, the slaughterhouses, how they are structured, and the concentration camps and all this stuff, and how they are transported, and everything, so much. But
the branding, the tattooing, the packing them into carts and sending them off, the I'm superior, you are inferior mentality. There's the systemized violence, the mass murders, and just the how it was hidden away and it was so kind of secretive. As in,
Yeah,
there's
and
so
and
many comparisons.
yeah, and I mean there are also differences which you can say that there
Yeah,
are, and you can talk about it. Of course, you don't have
mm.
to say it's the Holocaust. You can say it's the animal Holocaust, or it's whatever word you use. But um, I just wanted to make the point that the comparison is always valid because it's
Mm.
factual, right?
Yeah,
There are factual similarities, but you have to be careful in usage, which person is in front of you, in what audience you get. And this is like the negative part about the usage of the word. But the positive part also is, you know, it with Tash Peterson, for example,
yeah,
and Raffaela also. They are getting so much attention, and attention in these days
yeah,
in the internet is worth everything. And I think I'm not really sure afterwards if it was a smart thing or a not so smart thing to just use the word, because after all, the goal is to reach as many people, and we can really like get a grip of what is more effective, right? So I just wanted to have it an open end in the video, to just let the thoughts be and be aware of why and what of why you are using the word, but also not just say, yeah, I'm not using it because it is like disrespecting the victims, because if you say this is speciesist, because then you are disrespecting the victims of the animal Holocaust, right?
yeah, absolutely. And I'll tell you what, we're talking about, is it effective to use against certain people and stuff. I merit the fact that I'm vegan largely to the use of the word Holocaust. It was a Jewish American, Gary Rofsky, his speech, he called it the animal Holocaust. He made these comparisons. He called it slavery. These things hit me in the gut. I didn't want to hear these words, and that's why I went vegan, because it made me feel guilty about what I was doing. I was funding the biggest Holocaust of all time. I was funding the largest act of slavery of all time. I think also, you know, me and you have spoken about this before. There seems to be, and this ties back into the whole intersectional stuff and why like woke people are so bad in Germany. Because we get this here in the UK as well, because the UK also has like an oppressive history. I think people are very kind of raw to it because there's like this internalized guilt over something that they never did. Like,
Yeah.
you know, you weren't responsible for the Holocaust, just as I'm not responsible for fucking British colonialism or slavery or whatever. But there seems to be this needless guilt that people carry. Not that I'm saying these things shouldn't be remembered and the victims respected, but no one who had nothing to do with it should be feeling guilty over it. And I think this is why there's so many woke people in the UK and Germany and the USA or wherever.
Yeah, I think there's a quote from a politician of the right wing party in Germany. He said that there's a big like Holocaust statue combination. I'm not sure. There's like a whole yard
Yeah.
with like to remember. It's called the Holocaust Mahnmal. I'm not sure how it is called in English, but he said,
Memorial. Yeah.
yeah, memorial. It's like really big, and it's in the middle of Berlin.
I've been to it.
Uh,
Yeah, the you walk through it. It's like the cube
yeah,
structures, the big
the
squares.
stones. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, yes, I've
And
been
he
through that.
said it's a memorial of shame. And
Right.
everybody was like, oh my god, he's saying it's a shame to build up something to respect the Jews and all the other victims. But he didn't really meant it like this. He meant that the Germans are so focused on the 7, 8, or whatever 15 years of their history that they don't really remember maybe the good parts of German history, the parts
Yeah.
that made Germany a big player in politics, in society and whatever.
Yeah.
But
It's one of the most progressive countries in the world, Germany. It's a
yeah,
very progressive and strong country. You
Yeah,
can't just talk about the Holocaust when you talk about Germany's history, right? It's an
yeah,
important part of Germany's history. It's a very important part
of
to talk
course.
about, of course. But at the same
But
time, like what you're saying is true. You can't just focus on like 15 years or whatever it was.
yeah, and it's like really difficult because I mean you can imagine this person got cancelled for it, and
Right.
he also got cancelled for other reason. But that's not the point right now. The point I'm trying to make is like that especially in Germany, this is such a sensitive topics, and people are
Yeah.
so focused on this past that they really still have the guilt, internalized guilt inside them. So maybe this is why the woke thing is especially strong right now in Germany, because
The,
they always reminded of it.
do you know, Oliver? I'll tell you the first time I ever realized this when talking to Germans, and it was by complete accident. I didn't even mean to do this. I was doing outreach for AV at a cube in London, and there's some young German tourists came up to the screen, and I just started talking to them and stuff. And I was talking to them, and it never, I don't know, they just seemed like, oh yeah, it looks pretty bad. Yeah, this blah blah. And then it came to the footage about the pigs or whatever, and I said, and this wasn't even shown on the screen at the time. It was just like their throats being slit and stuff. And I wasn't even thinking about this. I was just saying what's about to happen. And I was like, oh yeah. And in many slaughterhouses in Europe, they'll be sent into gas chambers as well, systemically. And I remember these German tourists, Oliver, their eyes just kind of like lit up. It was almost like something, and I didn't even mean to do that because they were German or anything like that, but it was just like I felt for the first time there, I felt this like internalized, these kids were like 17, 18, but I felt this internalized German guilt coming from them over something they, once again, they weren't responsible for, whatever. But just because I said gas chambers, the whole tone of the situation just entirely changed, and it really fucking woke them up. I think they went away from that conversation thinking, holy shit, gas chambers in Europe. But that was just an interesting observation that I noticed. So it shows that it's
maybe
even...
it was because they as Germans were in another country and they feel like, oh, everybody thinks we are Nazis, and now he's talking about gas. Yeah.
Well, I hope they didn't get that impression, because that isn't what I was saying at all. All I was saying is literally what we do to animals, to pigs and stuff. And yeah, damn, that really kind of woke them up, I guess. But it shows, right, in Germany how it's taught from a very young age. This is Germany's history. And I just think that the significance of that when talking about animal rights is massive. Like, have you noticed that it's more effective in Germany to use the term Holocaust and make comparisons, or have you noticed that it's less effective? How do you feel it kind of works there?
I think they are very, very sensitive about this topic. I mean, AV gets cancelled because they are using the Holocaust comparison, and I think when you are in a conversation, I wouldn't just say Holocaust. I also say gas chambers, Gaskammern, which is like generating the expression because they are factual gas chambers. You can't
Yes.
really just say they are non-human gas chambers, whatever.
I hate it when carnists do that. Yeah, when they're like, "Oh, you look at you! You're talking about the gas chamber." This is like, I didn't say anything. I just said what fucking happens, dude. I didn't even. You can say it even without making the comparison. But yeah,
yeah, but yeah, I think I'm not using it in outreach if the other person doesn't say it from themselves. Sometimes it happens that they make the comparison themselves, and I agree 100% and say, yeah, if you say this is like what happened in Germany 50, no, it's 70 years ago, then you have to stop it. You have to change something about yourself. But yeah, I'm not from myself. I'm not using the word to just shock the people. I think there are other methods in outreach to do this, and the footage is enough. But I also wouldn't probably use it in live television. If I had the chance, I would more try to not like let them make this the topic of the discussions and not the animal rights.
Give them a noose to hang you with, so to speak. It's like,
but I also don't want to say criticize Rafaela for it, because she got the chance to speak in TV because she is herself, and she knows how to like provoke the masses and to get into this position. So I'm not really sure. I do it my way, and I stick to my way because it works for me.
I've just seen I've just seen quite a silly. Sorry, carry on. Finish what you were saying quick, Oliver.
I wanted to say I would never say you can't compare it, because it just is stupid and doesn't make sense if you say it to a vegan. And most of the time, also maybe I finished the point, because in the Rammstein situation, they made a video. Rafaela made a video because she just counted up the allegations that were made for him, and it was like abuse of power, abuse of the body of an innocent victim, and she compared it to the animals, to say, if you are against this singer because what he might have done, then you have to be against the animal industry. And I think this was really smart. But then the left-wing people defended, so attacked Rafaela for it. They said, you can't compare it. The human victims are something else than the animal victims. And this is where so many people, so many vegan speciesists are coming from the left-leaning side. What I wanted to say here is, with the Holocaust comparison, most of the time it happens when they say you can't compare it because it would just disrespect the victims of the one side. But after all, when you say this, you are disrespecting the animals as victims, and then you're not really having the anti-speciesist mindset in your head.
You know, I remember Gary Yourofsky always said, sometimes vegans can be the worst speciesists of all. And I've legit seen this in the animal rights movement. I mean, I've used the Holocaust comparisons many times. I call it the animal Holocaust a lot. You know, anyone can just check over my social media. And I've been like, you know, I've had probably more vegans in certain times actually condemn it than carnists. I mean, look what happened with James Aspey. It was like 2 years ago. They tried this mass cancellation campaign against him for calling it the animal Holocaust. And yet I've done outreach, and carnists have called it that themselves. I know non-vegans now who are non-vegan, but they just admit they have no excuse for it. And they literally say to me, like, no, you're right. This is a Holocaust. I don't have an excuse. This is a Holocaust. I see all the similarities. Carnists are telling me this, Oliver. Yet there's certain vegans who don't even. I mean, it just makes me want to bash my head against the wall, to be honest.
Yeah, and I think this is the main point. If we would talk about the solution, I think it also came to my mind what you said, that we always talk about we have the same goals, but actually we don't really have the same goals, like the animal rights activists and the intersectional activists. For the intersectional activists, their goal is to do everything. And if one thing isn't reached, then none is reached. If one goal isn't done completely, then nothing is completely. And we just want to like implement the animal rights because we know in the past 1,000 years where politics and whatever are in place, there was never a time where only like there was a complete consent about every topic, every opinion about the society, about the economy and all this stuff. So it doesn't really make sense. We have to see it as we see human rights, right?
Yeah.
And this is where it comes. If we recognize that we don't have the same goals, we just can say, okay, we are doing our thing and you are doing your thing. Why not just tear us down? Why should we tear you down in your efforts? I mean, at least you are talking about talking to some left-leaning vegans and turning them vegan. That's also a good thing. I don't really care after all. if you're respecting other beings. But why they just can't let us do what we do our work? They know
Yeah.
our work in general is positive.
Yeah.
So I think they are speciesist not only in their like comparisons, they are also speciesist when it comes to the respect of the animals and disregarding someone's work only because they don't agree with some whatever opinion. It's just, yeah, I also want to bash my head.
It's crazy, man. And we've just had a very interesting comment here, which just shows the ties between human and animal oppression. So the first gas chamber was actually built in 1983, and its purpose was to murder animals. So I guess, it wasn't even the Nazis that came up with the idea of gas chambers. This was an animal agriculture idea. Big ag created the gas chamber. Which just further shows the similarities. But anyway, we've come to the end of the stream now, Oliver. I want to thank you for being such an interesting guest as always, and talking about all the goings on.
Maybe your opinion or your final words to what I just said about we have to like split and respect that we can't work together, or do you have the big dream of animal rights is aligned and we all work together for the one aim?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's almost a combination of the two. It's like we're working together by respecting our differences, if that makes sense. So it's like almost like a combination of the two. It's not like we're working totally separate from everyone else and it's just like, hey, screw you guys, you have a different opinion from me, so I don't want anything to do with you. It's more like we're all in this fight together, but at the same time, I'm not going to tear you down just because you have a different advocacy style to mine. These people, the intersectionals, Oliver, they spend more time condemning vegans, white vegans or whatever it is, than they do carnists. And that's a very bad thing.
Yeah. And that's why I thought maybe the solution is not to try to work out our differences. If they want to focus on the differences, we can't do anything. We just have to say, okay, goodbye. We do our work and we focus on our work and we're getting better at our work. And after all, maybe they would just ignore us and we can do whatever we want to do for the animals and they won't cancel us. Yeah. Now the fly is trying to cancel me here.
Well, is it Auf Wiedersehen that I say goodbye in German, Oliver, or is that the wrong phrase?
The what?
Auf Wiedersehen, or is that the wrong?
Auf Wiedersehen. You say it maybe in old speaking or German.
Okay.
I mean, it's different in different areas in Germany. What I always say is tschüss.
Just tschüss. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you to everyone for joining us. Tschüss, and that's terrible pronunciation. And thank you very much for joining us, Oliver, and we will see you all later.
And remember, nicht vegan sein ist nicht okay. Ciao.